public service announcement. If you're gonna pass a single guy on a trail and you're a girl and he says hi, maybe say hi back and not just give me an awkward.
Oh boy. Well, I suspect my comments are going to make it outside of our little group. So I want to introduce myself. I'm Jason Martin. I am a professional mountain guide. I own the American Alpine Institute, a mountain climbing school and guide service. I'm a volunteer mountain rescuer, lots of stuff like that, outdoor author. And so I want to bring some perspective from the outdoor side to this. In order to get my comments outside of our little group, let's go ahead, like, follow, subscribe, repost, whatever. I think that there are some things I have to say that are new. One thing that is very outdoorsy, and one thing that I think will embarrass this guy a little bit. We'll get to that. But before we do any of that, I just want to talk about some influencers and creators, or one in particular that I think did a really good job of breaking down why a woman might not want to talk to a dude on a trail. And this is Mandy Ray. I would encourage you to go watch her video for some stats and a deep dive into a bunch of information. So let's get into it. A lot of the comments about this, a lot of the stitches revolve around the idea that when you say hi to somebody on the trail, maybe you nod, whatever, back, maybe not, whatever. The big piece of this is that that women don't owe you anything. They don't know you, whatever, they don't owe you anything. That's true and not true. It's true as a woman that you don't owe somebody on a trail anything. But as a hiker, as a backpacker, as a mountaineer, as a climber, as a skier, as a trail runner, as a mountain biker, you actually do owe people something on the trail. Outdoor adventurers owe each other a feeling of safety. And so that feeling of safety is generally built around the idea that if somebody gets hurt on a trail somewhere or on a mountain somewhere and you come upon them, that you're going to do something to help that person. And that's a legitimate and more or less unspoken rule. It's part of the reason that Everest Talk is so popular, because one of the narratives, it's not necessarily a fully true narrative, but one of the narratives is that people are passing people dying on the mountain and not providing aid. And that's abhorrent. But the unspoken feeling that we have in the mountains, on trails, is that one of the things that provides safety is that there are other people there and that they will act in your best interest if something goes wrong. Now, I think what is implied by a lot of the stitches about this video is that when somebody acts odd on a trail, when somebody expects something other than rendering aid from somebody, that unspoken rule that we provide one another safety on the trail, that maybe that rule has been broken a little bit, particularly when there are gender issues, particularly when somebody looks hazardous. And I'm going to touch on, that third rail where somebody's carrying a weapon on a trail that you pass by, where somebody's wearing attire that is spooky to some people. I posted on a guy who's wearing a tactical vest with an upside down knife with a sign right here that said, "Show me your TITS" on there. Obviously, that's not going to make people, women, and many men, I certainly don't feel comfortable passing somebody like that on the trail. They're presenting a situation where that feeling of safety that we do owe each other is being undermined. So in order to make one another feel comfortable on the trail, we want to respect one another, and that may not mean like smiling really big and saying hi to each person. It might be nodding, it might just mean acknowledging, and it might not mean anything. It doesn't really matter. And you should not be upset if somebody doesn't acknowledge you on a trail. It's not that big a deal. You'll survive. It's fine. Now, here's the other thing, the second thing I wanted to talk about. The narrative here is that this woman passed this guy in the trail. And everybody thinks that they passed one another going the opposite direction. But was he actually upset because she passed him going uphill and he was just slower, and that's what really caused the problem? It hurt his ego somehow, and then she didn't talk to him, and that hurt it even more. I don't know. What do you think?